Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Blue Knight in the 15-minute pool on ICC. And I'm going to play, let's play a French defense. This is not an opening I've played before on this channel, I don't think, so let's do it. So you can see his rating is a lot lower than mine. That's just the effect of the 15-minute pool. You sometimes get a pretty big gap in the ratings. So I'm pretty much going to be like freestyling this opening because I don't know a whole lot about this from the black side. I've never played the French in my life, except for 2 tournament games. But that was like some very specific preparation in a certain line. So I'll just go bishop d7 right here. Bishop d7 is a common move in the French advance, which is what the line that we have in front of us, characterized by white playing e5 on move 3. And here, so I can play queen b6. Put his bishop on d3. That seems a little weird to me. So I'll play queen b6 now and just basically ask him what he intends to do to defend that pawn, because that interfered with his queen defending it. I could take and then take on d4. This is like getting into the Milner-Barry Gambit, I believe it's called. So maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I think I'll take once. And I'll take again when he takes back. Just making sure that I'm not running afoul of any tactics. I don't think so. I know in this line that you're supposed to grab one pawn, but not the other pawn. So like he can play knight c3 now. That's the main move. And I'm pretty sure I shouldn't take on e5. Yeah, this is a bad move to take on e5. He gets to play rook e1, and it gets bad. I think a6 is a good move here, so I'll play that. And note the presence of my bishop on d7. That prevents him from doing any like bishop b5 tactics, that sort of thing. Okay, king h1. I guess the intention of that move is to try to play for f4. I'm guessing I should play knight e7 in this position. That would be a very normal move. Again, I'm in unfamiliar territory, so I'm just kind of scanning and making sure I'm not overlooking any tactics. Knight e7, f4, and then I can play knight c6 maybe. King h1. Just trying to see if there's any other reason for that other than to play f4. I don't see one. So, yeah, let's go knight e7. And if f4, I think I'll probably put the knight on c6. I mean, there might be a reason to play knight f5 too, but I don't know that f5, pawn f5 that is that pressing of a threat. So, yeah, no, this is just a better move. And it defends my queen too, so that's nice. I guess he's going to play queen f3 now. That would be my prediction. Because if he doesn't, if he plays some other move, maybe I can play knight b4 and attack his bishop, get his bishop to move so I could trade queens, and you know, I'd like to simplify. I'm up a pawn, so I'd like to simplify the position. Wow, he just goes for f5. Okay. All right, so the tactical justification for that is that if I were to take with my knight here, he takes on e6, and if I take back with the pawn, there might be some question about queen h5 check. Yeah. So I could take with the queen, but bishop f4 looks pretty massive for him. So I'm either not going to take that pawn, or I'm going to play knight takes. Also, after knight takes e5, f takes e6. I can't take with the bishop, note, because of bishop b5 check. So what if knight takes e5, f takes e6, f takes e6, queen h5 check, just g6? Can I do that? What's so bad about that? Oh, okay, I see what I am missing here. If I take on e5, so knight takes e5, he has f takes e6, f takes e6, bishop g6 check. So this bishop can actually pop out to a couple different places. That's annoying. What if I take on f5? I mean, that seems like a pretty natural move too. If I take f5, he takes with the bishop, let's say. I take on d1, he takes on d7, I take with the king, he takes with his rook. I wonder what's going on in that resulting position. I mean, I have half a mind just to ignore his pawn advance here, but like just go bishop e7 or something. I wonder if I can do that. Just bishop e7. What is he going to do? If bishop e7, he takes. I can take with my bishop. That's solid. There's no tactics he has. Yeah, why not? Let's just do bishop e7. I think it's solid enough. You know, by him playing f5, he does have access to the f4 square. So it's possible he could play like rook f4 or bishop f4, but neither of those moves looks particularly venomous. My theoretical knowledge really ended about move 9 when I took on d4. Or actually, move 10. I know a6 is a move there. Knight c3, a6, covering the b5 square. But yeah, like in this position right here, I'm just not sure about after king h1. King h1 seems like a normal move, though. Okay, so I have to take with the bishop, because if I take with the pawn, queen check looks annoying. And if I were to play g6, he has bishop takes g6. I mean, maybe I could play f takes, queen 8, h5 check, and then king d8, but my king will be permanently in the center. That's not part of my plan, so I'll take this way. So I like my bishop here because it really anchors f7 and d5 very nicely, and also his e5 pawn is weak. So I think I'm doing well in this position. I still have to be very careful. Probably bishop f4 is a good move here for him. It's what he should do. He needs to develop. I could see the game going like bishop f4 and castle kingside. Then maybe a queen move, like queen f3 or queen h5 for him. The only downside about having to take with the bishop, other than the fact that I have an isolated pawn, is it makes the bishop b5 tactics possible again. So like if bishop f4, I can't play knight takes e5. He has bishop b5 check, discovered attack on my queen once again. So knight e2. So his idea with that is maybe queen takes e5, bishop f4. Do I care? I can just go queen h5 then. I could also grab on b2, but that seems greedy. So queen takes e5. I wonder if he's going to put the knight on f4 instead. I will be up 2 pawns at that point, though. I gotta move my queen, so it's just a matter of which square is best. Yeah, I think taking the pawn is fine. I'll do it. I'm slightly behind on time, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time ruminating about whether to take that. Yeah, that's the natural move, but maybe I just go queen h5. Again, could take on b2. It's just I've already won 2 pawns. I don't know if I want to go for number 3. He can play rook b1 and he can take on b7. Not thrilled about that. Let's just go here. So I bet he's going to move his queen now and maybe try to play knight g3 coming up. So queen e1 or queen d2 I would expect. Maybe queen c2. Or queen b3. Well, there you go, queen b3. b5, he is attacking my pawn. I could just castle too. Maybe castle, queen takes b7, knight into b4. Nah, that's not good. b5 would be the most aggressive move here, or most principled move. Just try to hold on to the pawn, basically. What about knight b4? I have knight b4 in this position, don't I? Knight b4, he can move his knight to g3. My queen is like kind of running out of squares, so I have to be concerned about that. Knight b4, knight g3, queen h4. He can come into f5, however. I think knight b4 is acceptable, though. So let's do it. Looks okay. I suspect this guy knows this line because he's played it pretty well. I mean, I think he knows some... I know he knows the initial moves, but like starting with king h1 on move 11, I think he knows some plans like f4, f5, and how to avoid certain exchanges in this line. So here, do I want to play queen g4 or queen h4? I think probably queen h4. So he has a harder time attacking me. I'm a little nervous, though, because the knight coming into f5 is not fun. I have to give up my light square bishop, which previously has been a very strong defender for me. Yeah, this light square bishop is a great defensive piece, and I will not be happy to have to part with it. But if knight f5, I think I kind of have to. Maybe I could play queen f6. But I also might be asking for it if I do that. He plays bishop f5, okay. Yeah, somehow that one didn't concern me as much. So if I castle, he can play a3 and then go after my b7 pawn. I do like castling, though, in this position. Pretty soon he's going to have all his pieces participating, though. b5, is b5 too slow? Maybe not. Because if I castle, he can just play a3 and then knight c6, queen takes b7. He's only down one pawn at that point, and he's got an attack on my c6 knight, which is in turn kind of defending the e7 bishop. Although my queen is also defending that piece. Okay, I'm getting a little low on time now. Gonna have to start making some tough decisions. Okay, well, I might really be asking for it with this move, but we'll see. I don't want him to win my b-pawn, I've decided. I'm not cool with that. So I need to castle. I need to reduce his attacking potential here, aka I want to exchange some pieces. That's how you parry an attack most often in chess. He takes. Okay, I gotta take. No doubt about that. I think he's gonna go after my e6 pawn. But the nice thing about playing f takes e is that now when I castle, I'll be hitting his bishop. Maybe he'll go bishop e5. Maybe that's his idea. If my king gets stuck in the center, so be it. I mean, I might have to play king d7. If bishop e5, I'll probably play queen g5. Attacking his bishop and defending g7. Yeah, that's what I'll do. a3. Okay, castles would be a cool move now. I think I'll play that move, unless I see a compelling reason not to. It's a nifty defense. Castle and attack his bishop. Yeah. Ooh. He has queen e3 if I do that. That gets complicated, though. Castles, queen e3, knight c2, queen takes e6, king h8. What is going on there? If knight c6, he can play queen c3, though. I don't like that. All right, let's castle. Let's do it. I'm under 5 minutes. He's got almost a 2-to-1 time advantage on me. Queen e3, I think, is like the only good move for him here. And then I have to play knight c2, I believe. Unless I have something fancy that I don't see. But let's say queen e3, knight c2, queen takes e6, check, king h8. Let's say rook a c1. I could play knight d4 then, if I really want to. Oh, but I could also just take on f4. Yeah, I can take on f4. I mean, I think worst case scenario, I have to give back both my pawns in that line. But on the bright side, my king is now safe. Okay, bishop coming back to d2 doesn't look strong. Because now I can just safely play this move, right? He's still probably going to go after that e-pawn. Because that's my only major point of weakness. But let's do that. I don't think it was worth it to trade on f1 or something first. Yeah, queen e3 is looking probable. Queen e3, I can play queen g4 if I need to. Just to defend that pawn. Rook f6 is another move I could try. I don't think I should play e5 because that allows knight f5. Yeah, so let's do this one. Nice and easy. Queen can come into b6. He's got all these pesky moves he can make with the queen. If the queen comes into b6, what will I do? Rook f8 maybe? Or knight e5? I probably lean towards knight e5. Well, I feel a lot better about my position than I did, let's say, 5 moves ago. But I'm not completely out of the woods yet. I'm behind on the clock. He has some compensation, I'd say. Not enough for 2 pawns, but he has some compensation. So the next few moves are going to be crucial. Because if he's not able to generate significant threats, I'll be winning, most definitely. Okay, here I can take on f1 if I want to reduce some of the pressure, so I'll do that. Again, exchanging pieces. That's your primary weapon against an opponent who has the initiative. Rook f8 was my intention, so let's continue with that. If he trades, and I'll take with the bishop. If he comes into b6, I have queen d1 check. I mean, queen d1 is a threat right now. So he needs like a Luft move at the moment, like, you know, h3 or something. But h3 weakens his defense of the knight. So now I can just bring my queen back. Yeah, there's no reason to check him. So we'll just bring the queen back. And this queen has to stay guarding the knight now. He could play queen b6 because he would be attacking my knight too. But if I move it, at some point he'll have to address this undefended knight. Now if he goes king h2, I have bishop d6. And that's going to be over soon. So yeah, I think I'm winning, and I just need to play carefully now. Coordinate my pawns in the center. Like, I should probably play e5 soon if I can. I bet he plays knight e2, I bet he moves his knight away because he realizes this is a weak piece. So he might play knight e2, trying to come to f4. I'll probably play e5 against that if he does it. Bishop d6 also wouldn't be a bad idea. I have the possibility of queen b1 check and taking this pawn maybe, but I won't do it right here. Yeah, so he does play knight e2. So I want to play bishop d6 or pawn e5. Pawn e5 looks more secure. Yeah, I'll do that. Now my queen is participating in the defense of the knight over here. And I stopped his knight from coming to f4, so I'm happy with that move. Bishop d6 was also very good, I'm sure. Okay, so here I could play knight d4 if I wanted to try to trade things. That was kind of what I was planning on doing, but now I'm not so sure. Ooh, what about queen into c2? Could that be good? Looks pretty good. Or queen into d3. Queen into c2 looks better if I'm going to play that way. I could also just go knight e7. Okay. Let's go queen c2. Maybe bishop c3, though. Interfering with my queen and knight. I mean, I'm attacking both his pieces here. But he's going to be able to win my knight if I'm not careful. Yeah, I don't know if queen c2 was the best move. Bishop c3 might be annoying. If he plays knight c3, I can hop into d4 with my knight. So I'm not as worried about that one. Yeah, that one's annoying, though. Maybe I should just come back with my queen. Queen all the way back to g6. I'll lose my pawn, though. Take on e2, he takes here. Is there a way to trade? I can't trade queens easily. It's annoying. Oh, I think I see a good line, though. Okay, I'll take... He'll take my knight. I'm going to give him a check on f1 first before I do anything.
Check.
And then after king h2, I'm going to play e5. Or d4, I mean. Yeah, d4 now. Because if he checks me on d5 or e6, I can bring my queen back to f7, is along the lines of what I'm thinking.
Check.
And force a queen trade. Yeah, and he did it. I can go here now. This is winning for me. Yeah, so that check was not good. He had to move his bishop somewhere, like a5 or something. I'll be curious to see if the computer approves of my technique there at the end. I don't know if it will, but having that check on f1 was key.
Check.
So I can get my queen back to defend the king. Yeah, and this is a losing endgame for him. No question. I'll just push e4. Could try to bring my king up first, but there's no need, I don't think. Yeah, I can bring the king up now. e3, it's not worth calculating. Let's just play fast. Marching the king in is such a natural plan. And if he wants to stop me with b3, he has to lose the pawn on a3. So I can take that guy. Now we'll go e3 next move and then put my king on e4. and then go d3. More than likely. And he resigned. My rating went down again. Let's show you guys because it's kind of funny. Don't know that you can see that. Probably can't. But, okay, let me just resize this. But yeah, I went down a little bit. I was at 2340 and I went down to 2321. That's just, someone actually explained this in the comments to my last standard video. It's incentive to decrease inflation in the pool, apparently. So I guess they don't want people getting too high of ratings initially. I think once you're established, like, you'll never go down in a rating if you win a game. But since I haven't played 20 games yet to establish my standard rating, I think that's the magic mark according to what people were saying in the comments, 20 games. But since I don't have 20 games, I can still go down even if I win. But anyways, let's analyze this game. So go back to the beginning. So we have the French advance, which is just white playing e5 on move 3. And we transposed into this Milner-Barry Gambit. Not even transposed. I mean, this is actually probably a pretty common way of getting into it. I've never played this line for either side. I only know of this line through, like, work with my students in it. And in that work, I know that black should not take the second pawn. It's okay to take the pawn on d4. You don't want to take the second pawn. Because if you take the second pawn, take here, this gets really dicey. Rook e1, had to move the queen. Actually, just today I saw a game of one of my students where my student playing white was facing this move, queen c7, but after knight takes d5, they just destroyed their opponent. Queen d6 is possible, but here I think there's a lot of good things. Queen f3, trying to play bishop f4, or maybe just knight b5 right away. Both of those moves look really good. Probably queen f3 is the better move, actually. Lots of threats then, taking on d5 and bishop f4. So you don't want to take that second pawn. Don't want to be gluttonous in this position. So I played a6, he went king h1, knight e7, and then here. And I brought my knight to c6. Yeah, knight f5 would not be good because he could take. And when I take back, well, for this first, and then rook takes, and when I take back, I'll lose the d5 pawn. Knight takes d5. So I don't want to do that. So I played knight c6. I bet this is all theory. If anyone has any experience in this line, feel free to chime in. But f5. Okay, I'm going to add the engine starting here because I'm kind of skeptical of f5, although he wants to play with the initiative here. So I could understand his motivation to want to keep playing forcefully and not slow down. And f5 is about as forcefully as you can play this position. So I played bishop e7 and tried to ignore it. The engine actually says take. Okay, now it doesn't like take. Bishop e3, wow. So if I take bishop e3, and I guess the idea is this knight takes d5, with this being a possibility once the queen moves. I didn't look at that. I just played bishop e7. He took. Maybe I can take with the f-pawn. I was
Check.
considering the ramifications of this position. And then maybe something like bishop g5, I don't know. Oh, okay, actually, this bishop's hanging. I don't know. This is probably okay for black if I play carefully. I'm attacking d3. e5 is about to fall. But my king is permanently in the center now, and he has a lot of pieces. This isn't like a simplified position. If the queens are off the board, then yeah, like black's rocking. But he has a lot of firepower. He's going to cause trouble. So bishop takes e6 is the safer move. Also seems to be pretty good. Knight e2 I took. He went bishop f4. Okay, so the engine says be greedy and take that. Yeah, knowing what happened in the game, I probably would have done that in retrospect. Take, rook b1. Yeah, I lose the b7 pawn, but I guess I can cast a lot of danger. I'm up 3 pawns here. And my queen is not sidelined too poorly like it was on the king side. I'm still a little bit nervous about his attacking potential, but it's not surprising the computer likes black. Although it must be said, like, the computer only likes black by this much, and black is up 3 pawns. So that tells you that the computer thinks that white has compensation, because otherwise it would just be -3 or more if you're up 3 pawns. So this entire line, this entire gambit strikes me as a pretty decent blitz weapon for white, but not like a sound tournament weapon. This Milner-Barry Gambit. I don't know, it just seems... It seems like if you face a well-prepared opponent, you're not going to want to play this opening from the white side. Queen b3 is a good move, though. So I played this greedy move, knight b4, trying to hold on to everything. There was also b5 possible, but I didn't like that one, attacking these 2 points. So I played knight b4, knight g3, yep, queen here. So he should just dive right ahead and go knight f5, according to the computer. And even though I can escape with castling after this, yeah, he can just play like maybe a3 in this position. When I move the knight, take on b7. Is there anything wrong with that? Attacking this, and if the knight moves, the bishop's hanging. I see I have knight d4, yeah, so I could counterattack his bishop. But even here, I'm up a pawn still, but the open nature of the position and all these targets I have, and white having a relatively cohesive position, yeah, this would be very difficult for black. Very difficult, yeah. If he had played knight f5 right away, as opposed to delaying it one move, I could have been in some serious trouble. So I think that means I had to take on b2 on move number, where was it, 16? When he played bishop f4? Yeah, take on b2 would be stronger. So he played bishop f5. And now here, I guess I should castle. Yeah, castle I didn't like a3 though. g6. Huh. Yeah, I didn't like a3 because of knight c6 and then the possibility of this capture again. I might have been spacing a little bit on the fact that my bishop is also defended by the queen. I mean, I knew that. I was talking about that in the game, but like, it didn't connect with me that moves like knight a5 are possible here since he can't play queen takes e7. So it seems that b5 might be really pushing it in this position and that I should take the first opportunity to castle. Okay, so b5 was being greedy. So what does the computer like here? It likes just rook a c1, sneaky move. Do you guys see what the point of rook a c1 is? If you want to try to figure it out on your own, you can pause the video. But the point of rook a c1 is to threaten a3. Because he's taken away this safe flight square for my knight. So I can't drop the knight back to c6. So according to the engine, that gives him a clear edge. Interesting. Instead he took and then played a3, and I have this nifty little castling defense. Yeah, and I was trying to calculate what happens if queen e3. Okay, I'm going to turn off the engine while we calculate this. So like, I was looking at queen e3 here, and then knight c2, queen takes e6 check, king h8, and then his rook is under attack, so like rook a c1. And I was kind of thinking I could take on f4 then. So like rook takes f4. So that after rook takes f4, queen takes f4, I'd be hitting his undefended rook on c1. He could take my knight, however, and at the very end of that line, my bishop and my pawn on d5 are hanging. Okay, if you follow that line, good job. Because I don't know how clearly I explained that, but let's see what it says about queen e3 here, because he didn't play it, but he probably should have. So queen e3, knight c2,
Check.
queen takes e6. Yep, so far, this is according to my analysis. Here it says rook a d1 is better, but what happens if this? Okay, rook takes f4, just like I was saying. Take here. Aha, and I have a rook f8. That is a nice move at the end, because now I'm actually threatening queen f1, so he doesn't have a chance to take my bishop or my pawn. And, conveniently, h3 would undefend his knight on g3. Very interesting. Okay, yeah, I didn't see that. Didn't see that move at the end. So it says he has to retreat and guard his back rank, and then maybe I can consolidate my extra pawn. Great position for black. Okay. Yep, sometimes these these sequences just hinge on a small tactical idea hidden like deep in the variation. So if he had played queen e3 in the game, I might have been hard-pressed to find that whole line, especially that rook f8 detail at the end. He should play queen e3, though, because bishop e3, or bishop d2, I mean, as played in the game, now I've got everything nearly defended. He still had some auxiliary pressure on my e6 pawn and the prospect of queen b6, but black is in consolidation mode at this point. Oh, knight f5 is an interesting shot. I didn't see that move. The point being that if I take with the rook, then queen takes e6, win my rook. What happens if I take this way, though? Oh, queen e6, okay. And then he picks up the knight. Okay, so the computer's finding some tactical ways to try to muddy the waters a little bit. Like in this line, let's say here and here. At least, even though black's still up 2 pawns, at least like the d5 pawn is less protected and white's queen is aggressively placed, could cause some commotion. So he went rook here, and I opted to exchange. So exchanging these pair of rooks really helps my position. For one thing, my rook on a8 wasn't doing anything this entire game. All it did was like move over to f8 and exchange itself, which is fine by me because I'm up 2 pawns, so a war of attrition will favor me. And I bring the game closer to an endgame. So queen g6. I really like my queen position. He played knight back. I played e5. Yep, this seems to be fine. And here maybe I should play knight e7. I saw that move, which defends the a6 pawn laterally by introducing my queen, and it also defends d5. I saw that move. I thought maybe he could go for some counterplay like this, and my knight can't move because d5 would hang, but it seems like black has everything nice and tidy so long as I kind of keep my pieces bunched together, protecting each other. So I did this queen c2 move. He went here. Okay, so he can take here. I guess the point of that is that if I take, he takes here. Let's say I take here. He has check here, and then... Oh, interesting. I was thinking queen here. Yeah, that's also possible. And my bishop can't move because of queen e8 mate, or mate to come. So I'd have to, like, give up the bishop then. With probably good chances for him to draw. I mean, my king is pretty open. I'm only up 1 pawn now. It is a queen endgame. Ah, yeah, I didn't see queen takes a6. Didn't see that that was possible. The engine says if that were to happen, knight d8 is winning. But again, a hard move to find in a situation with limited time. So he played this. I took.
Check.
Yeah, gave a check. Very important to give this check so my queen can come back to f7 to defend. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry. But yeah, after the check on f1 and then d4, notice how I'm advancing my pawns on the same color as his bishop. That's to restrict his bishop. Even though I have a bishop of that same color, I don't care as much about that as I care about restricting his bishop. Like, e4, aside from being an obvious blunder because it allows this, would just be a bad move strategically against his remaining bishop. You know, I don't want my pawns on the same color, or the opposite color as his bishop here. Yeah, they stay out of danger that way, but look how that increases the scope of his bishop. If your opponent has 1 bishop remaining, usually you want the pawns on the same color as that bishop, provided there's not a overriding reason. So d4, and he must move his bishop here. Yeah, like bishop d2 or bishop a5. But it looks pretty... Well, maybe it could be harder to win than I thought. Maybe I have to give my a-pawn. Queen f7, yeah, this move seems kind of necessary to safeguard my king. He can take... I do get e4, though, and I feel like once these pawns hit the 4th rank together, it should be decisive. Yeah, so I think I probably would be winning this endgame. It's just a question of the time.
Check.
Clock time, so... Instead, he gave this check, and yeah, I'm just up 2 pawns with a unstoppable duo marching in the center, and also the ability to bring my king in pretty quickly. And I mentioned, like, you know, I was thinking about e3. Again, I don't really want to play this move because he can, like, blockade me for a little bit, although that's winning too. Oh, that's a cool move, actually. Bishop c5, because this is winning. But you know, I'd much rather advance my pawns on the same color as his bishop right now. Again, for restriction and pushing him back. But I don't even have to calculate that because there's such a clear route in with my king. And my pawns form a nice wall, keeps his king at bay. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. And please feel free to leave me any feedback in the comments, especially about that opening if you have any comments about that Milner-Barry Gambit. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Bye.